Alrighty, everybody, welcome into another winning edition of the Sports Analyst Podcast. Jessa, my lovely co-host, we have not lost. BYU has not lost a game ever since we started doing this podcast. That is a fact.
That is a fact.
That's all.
That's
That's
it.
the intro. Okay.
That's
Yep.
awesome. I noticed a couple things. You've got a new background from the game this weekend. Epic
Yes.
moment, by the way. I'm a little salty because they took our flag that's usually in the north end zone and gave it to like the upper section of the rock, but
Is that what
whatever.
that was?
Yeah,
I saw that this
Taylor
guy
Troop
right
one.
here, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
usually have that one. So weird. It
Really
never, it
interesting.
doesn't, yeah, it doesn't get to us because we're on row like
Right.
33 or whatever. But so
Right.
that's the first thing I noticed. And then, do you have a Sparky ASU shirt on?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Forks up this week because Arizona State plays Utah this week, and I will be rooting so hard for Arizona State. I know we had this little discussion on Sports Analysts earlier. Do we want Utah to win? Do we want them to lose? I hate Utah, and I want them to lose every single game. I will never, ever cheer for them. It doesn't matter what the situation is. I will never, ever cheer for them. So
Yeah.
I'm rocking BYU gear and Arizona State gear. And also, Arizona State's rival is Arizona, which BYU plays. So we're just working in tandem here, okay? The Sun Devils
Wonderful.
and the Cougars, we are just going to sweep the opposites rival this week.
That's a really good point. We are playing each other's rival.
Yeah.
Okay. I can get on board with that. I think I'm with you. I've gone back and forth about rooting for Arizona State, rooting for Utah. I just can't do it. I can't root for Utah. So
Right.
go Sun Devils. And we don't play them this year. So sure, go ahead and win all your games. That's fine.
Right. Yep. And then we'll get revenge for last year in the Big 12 championship game.
Yeah.
Texas
Never
Tech
mind.
might have something to say about that, but
Yeah, I was just gonna say, never mind, don't win all your games. Just win this one. Okay, Arizona State.
all right. But Jessa, the BYU game that did happen, BYU beat West Virginia. Yay! Win. The score was 38-24.
Yikes.
How are we feeling? I mean, first off, I guess, like you said, I have to say thank you to everybody that came out to the tailgate. It was an absolutely amazing experience. The vibes were super high. The food was good. Shout out Kevin. Shout out everybody that brought stuff for the spread. Like, it was just an awesome, awesome, great time. Western Kentucky, Delaware gave us a fun game to watch. Everybody was hanging out. Jacob's friends even came and shot a promotional ad for this golf thing while we were there. So that was
That's what
fun.
was going on. I was wondering, they had a
Yeah.
little mic out. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. So thank you, everybody. That was super great to be able to see everybody and talk to them. I'm still getting my voice back, as you can tell. I was very out of practice with screaming for 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Secondly, I love BYU football. BYU football has hurt me so many times, and I will come back every single time because that was such an incredible night from the tailgate to the end when we were like playing catch in the parking lot, listening to the post game and cleaning up the tailgate. Absolutely so fun. Shout out the Vortex. We got on the big board. Just like the most incredibly high vibes that there ever could have been. It was amazing.
Yeah, I think that was I think as I think about it, that's got to be the most fun I've had in an in-game experience. I legitimately, I was like, yeah, beating Utah was fun. Although I wasn't in our section in 2021. I was over at the 40-yard line or whatever. That was so fun. We had little shout outs. We had Em and Jax. We had Alice.
Yep.
We had Elliot. We had me and Lucy and Jen there for a little bit for the first half.
Yep.
And then we had Riley and Jacob, and
Yep.
we had you and Kinley, and then we had
Yep.
Kylie and Katie. What a
Yep.
crew! That was so fun. And shout out to Alice for being the leader of the Vortex. I don't know where that
Yep.
came from, but if you weren't there, just at a certain point when the cameras are pointing at us, it started. And I have a bone to pick, though. We need more cameras in the north end zone. I went back
We
and
do.
watched the game, both for study and just to see if we got on ESPN at all. We didn't. So many shots of the rock, right? And I get it, but
Yeah.
I think selfishly, maybe this is our hot take for today. We need more shots of the north end zone because we put the work in. Okay?
We do.
Yeah.
Okay. It was lit. It was
It
so
was so
sick. They
fun.
should have had us at least on one of the bumps while they're running ads or something, right? Come on. Like,
So
who doesn't
good.
want to watch this the entire. It
My
was awesome.
shoulders
It was.
actually got tired. We did it so much, which I think is what made it so fun when we finally got on the big board and threw the U's down.
Yep.
Um,
And everybody started doing this. Oh,
yeah, so fun. I'll remember that one for a minute. And BYU got the win. That
yep.
makes it all the more sweet, right? We'll have fun
Yeah.
regardless, but it's a lot more fun when BYU wins.
Yeah. We probably wouldn't have had that much fun if BYU had
Yeah,
been
that's
losing
true.
by 2 touchdowns. All right. I kind of want to. I kind of want to go over what we did last week because last week we said there were a couple things that we need to have. And in this game, we didn't go over, we didn't go 100%. So let's go over these and maybe that'll help us set up the conversation about how we're feeling
Yeah,
about this football game.
yeah, I think that's good. The first one, a three-score win. We wanted to win by three scores, so that's 17 plus. The spread was what, 19 and a half? We're over one. We did not get the three-score win thanks to our backup defense, oddly enough.
Right?
Weird.
Which is one of our other points is we wanted to sit the starters in the fourth quarter, which we did. So check mark on that one, but unfortunately that cost us the 3 score win in the end. I mean, there were a lot of things that led to not winning by 3 scores. We'll get into that, but that was a funny duo right there.
Yeah, you can't have your cake and eat it too, I guess.
Exactly.
Gosh. We wanted 250 plus passing. And Bear and the receivers definitely came through. Bear threw for 351, right?
Yep. Yep.
And I believe 200 plus of that was yards after contact. So both Bear, I know it only shows up, right? Well, it doesn't only show up in Bear's box score. Bear's box score looks really, really good. Well, shout out to the receivers too for being speedy and getting up field.
Yep, absolutely. And we'll get into that a little bit more. LJ, 100 plus rushing. So close. He had 90 yards rushing, but he did have 21 receiving yards. So he had over 100 scrimmage yards. I guess that's good.
90, yeah, 90 yards when they're stacking the box. Like every single team we see from now on is going to stack the box. So getting 90 yards, I mean, he needs to average 72 a game to break 1,000 rushing yards because of how
All right.
strong he started the season off. So,
So check. Yeah, we're
good job,
feeling good then.
LJ. Yeah.
Yep,
Oh, and he came in the clutch and short distance,
he did.
like conversions. So well done, LJ.
Yep, love to see that. As far as turnovers are concerned, we wanted multiple turnovers from the defense, which we got. Check mark there. We forced 2 of them. One of them should have been a pick six.
Yeah.
Trey, get on your horse. So close. But we also gave 3 away. So hard no on the no turnovers from the offense.
When was the last time the BYU lost the turnover margin battle? I don't think we've won a game
Oh,
when we lost the turnover margin battle. Maybe that's a study point for another one, but we have
that's
like
that.
we have
Greg had that after the game, but I can't remember what it was.
okay, knew he would. That's another thing.
Yep.
We can blame Greg for this
Oh,
turnover of the
literally
game.
our first turnover, the screen pass that was intercepted. Literally, I'm listening. I'm listening to the
Yeah,
radio because I'm trying to hear like Greg has all this information, right? But then he says like, "Wow, BYU's done such a good drive. This is like so many passes without an interception." Blah blah blah. Literally, the next play, we had a pick. So jinxes are real, Greg. I love you, but jinxes are definitely real.
yeah, and we'll see more of that. I'm just bracing myself. Like, what is he gonna say that we're doing good? And then that's what I'll watch for us to.
Yep.
Yep. And then no stupid plays. This one's highlighted or yellow. Jared, why is it highlighted yellow?
Are
Not a
we
red light,
counting
not a
the
green light.
Are we counting the turnovers in this one? Because, like, originally the no stupid plays was because Tiger Bachmeier fielded a punt at the 2 yard lines and ran back into the end zone. And then we had Evan Johnson take a pick out of the end zone and go back into the end zone and then go out again. So those were like kind of what we were thinking of. But like the pitch, and we'll get into this, the pitch turnover I thought was stupid. Like don't pitch it if there's a guy there, maybe.
Yeah,
And then also the interception. I mean, then the fumble. I don't know. So like the fumble was a stupid play. Like put 2 hands on the ball, Javessa. I don't know.
yeah.
Do those count as stupid plays? Because we didn't really have any
I
other stupid plays.
I would say in this game the stupid plays were replaced by like stupid penalties. Like
Mm,
Chase and Kingston. Both had
Oh,
just stupid false starts. Your
multiple false starts.
Yeah, multiples. So I would say we didn't make any like boneheaded plays on the field. You could make an argument that the turnovers were like stupid, but also at the same time they were football plays. Like
Yeah,
turnovers happen, and we'll get into like why they happened. But I would say we did have stupid plays in the form of our best wide receivers were like jumping at the line. Like Chase, what are you doing? So
right?
weird.
Yeah, so I would definitely. I think you're right. I think you're right. That's definitely a red. Did not have any note. We did have stupid plays,
We
which is
did
bad, wrong.
bad. We overcame them
Uh,
okay, but I hate that we had to.
right? And I think that's honestly like kind of the story of the game as we kind of transition to the game as a whole. Like overcoming adversity, that was very much the Colorado game too, like coming down 14 points early and then overcoming it. Now like we just like we got in our own way, which I hate that we did that, but it was good that we still won. Like it didn't cost us the game. And I'm glad that we had it in a game where it didn't cost us the game because Kalani came out and was pissed after the game about the defense giving up the score late, about the offense turning the ball over so much of ball security. Um, I I'm glad that we had that experience in a game that we still won so that we can fix those issues and move on to the next game, which is these next couple games are going to be extremely difficult. It's going to be night and day difference from the level of competition we face in our first 5 games to the next 5 games. So I'm glad that we still won while being able to experience and learn from those mistakes.
Yeah, same here. And I hope, I have faith that our coaches, that's what they're saying in the locker room. But I hope the guys understand that if you do like 50% of the crap that you did yesterday with those turnovers, you're losing to a Texas Tech. You're losing to Iowa State, more than likely. I
Oh
don't
yeah.
know. I don't think, hmm, maybe, right? You're losing to Arizona, even. Like
Oh, for
you're
sure.
losing to Utah, you know? And so my hope is moving forward that we do learn from his mistakes. And as far as margin of error goes in sports, right? It's like you don't need to go from seven um penalties to zero, right? Like 7 to 3, guys. Like one
Yep.
turnover a game. You just can't have three. Like if this was anybody other than West Virginia, and I've said this before, our schedule's so easy that we're getting away with this crap. We can't get away with it, guys. Can't keep
Yep.
getting away with it. Gonna
Not
kick us in the
anymore.
face. So yeah, I do hope that the guys feel that and we come in even more disciplined this week.
Right, which we absolutely should because Kalani, and this was a common topic of conversation among me, Jacob, and my dad the next day. After listening to the post game and watching the press conferences and stuff like that, we love angry Kalani. We need more like sassy, angry Kalani, and they were like it in the on the radio, like Greg and Hans, they throw him softballs and like trying to get him to like be hyped, and like he's like, no, like one of his answers was literally, and I sent the sports analyst like super late at like 2 a.m. or something. He was like, yes, I want to praise our guys for what we did well, but I'm just consumed by all the mistakes we made and how we need to fix those moving forward. And I was like, yes, Kalani, yes, which it gives me faith that we will fix these issues and moving forward, we are going to address not just like if there's a screen pass and you have one option bare and it's not there, like it's okay not to just go on autopilot and throw it. Yeah, tuck it and run, throw it in the dirt. Like you see this all the time. When screen passes aren't there, you'll see good quarterbacks just throw it at the dirt. And like that's okay to do. Or hey, if we're running a speed option in our own end zone and the guy's coming with the pitch, you don't need to try and force the pitch out there. I don't care how great of a play that nickelback made to get to the ball. If it's even scary at all, it's okay just to tuck it and lose a yard. Like you live to play another day. So I think that's my biggest takeaway from this game is that Kalani was angry after the game, and I do have faith that these issues will be addressed moving forward.
Yeah, I know we'll get to like the positives about the offense because I do have some positive to say. But on that note, let's talk about the turnovers for a second because I went back and looked at them. At
Yeah,
least the first two. The fumble from Jobesa Demuni was just purely he was holding the ball with one hand, like purely just bad ball security. So that's just a young guy making a bonehead mistake because,
very
and if Mo,
correctable mistake.
yeah, if Moa's in there, it probably doesn't happen. So that one
True,
is just
true.
like infuriating, but there's nothing we can do about it. I'm actually gonna give the other two. I'm putting the other two. The pitch is on Bear, but the screen is 100% on A-Rod. You can only
Oh,
do the
interesting. Okay.
same thing. You can only do the same thing so many times before they catch on. If
Yep.
you watch that play, the linebacker, our offensive line, right? What do you call it? Chip a block, and then go upfield into the next
Hmm.
level, right? And the linebacker starts running towards Bear, and then like recognizes immediately that this is a screenplay and falls back into coverage. It looked like, and I'm just making a guess here. I guarantee you in their film study, they're like BYU loves the screen. So if you have a free ride at the quarterback, forget it, fall back into coverage. And that's exactly what he did. And I know Bear has to get rid of the ball fast or else it's going to be a legal man downfield or something, right? So you could make the argument that he let go of it a little too fast and he would have seen the linebacker come off if he'd held on to it. But still, I just think we've ran that play already in the game. Like we already ran a tunnel screen and we can only run so many screens is how I feel. Like,
Yep.
stop it. Stop it. And that
Yep.
was just an example where we got burned by it. We got burned by it because they saw it on film and we got to come up with different things, Kalani. And I know Jake threw a pick on that same play at the SMU game last year. Same exact play. So
Yeah.
probably time to throw that one out of the playbook.
Listening to Coordinator's Corner, A-Rod talked about the interception, and obviously he was talking about how great the linebacker was and how it was such an amazing play, blah, blah, blah. But he also said, hey, it worked for us earlier in the game, so we're going to go back for it. We're going to go back to it. And it's like, because, correct me if I'm wrong, the one that we ran earlier was a touchdown
It
to
was a
Parker
touchdown.
Houston that he
Yep,
took to the house, right?
it worked.
You
Yep,
run it once, you got your touchdown out of it. I don't care if you're running it with a tight end instead of a slot receiver, like whatever. You're running it, it's the same play concept. And so you have to be able to ride that balance as a play caller. And not saying that I do this at all well in my college football dynasties on EA, but you do have to run the distance between doing something that works and like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But also like being super predictable, right? If you're Ryan Day and you're running a bubble screen every single time to Marvin Harrison Jr., eventually Michigan is just going to press coverage you and force you to pass the ball downfield, which Cal McCord never could do. And I'm not mad about it at all. Like obviously, but
he's
you
let go of it.
we have to. Yes, I'm very well adjusted Ohio State fan. Um, you have to be unpredictable, and if something works, then maybe you run like an action off of that, like do a fake and then do something else, right? So again, I'm glad that we're learning these lessons in games where it isn't costing us as much as if we ran that same play and had the same result against Utah in 2 weeks.
Yep. And we knew that either a screen, a horizontal, or a backwards pass was going to get picked, like going to get tipped at some point. We knew that. Like
Yeah.
as fans, we could see it. It had almost happened like 5 times, right? I think Ty said it in Sports Analysts. So I'm with you. I'm glad they happened now instead of at Arizona, Utah, Tech during this tough stretch. Because I have faith that Bear's going to learn from it. He sees
Yep.
that same look with the nickel blitz again. He's not pitching that ball.
Right.
There's a lot of questions, right? He's a freshman, but I trust that he's going to learn from his mistakes. So that was the other thing I was going to say. I watched the film back. He throws an interception. We have this question about like how Bear is going to handle turnovers, right? He's never been in
Hmm.
this situation. You're kind of waiting and watching because especially with Jake, once he turned the ball over, you could almost see it. He would like get tense or like jittery or like he would go cold, right?
Yeah.
And so you're watching,
Composer.
yeah, yeah. There would be a little snowflake underneath him
The
if you're
little
playing EA.
snowflake.
Uh-huh, right. Well, so Bear throws his first interception, right? We just talked about it. The very next play is the 85-yard slant to Chase. The very next play. Like we get first the offensive play after that. And then he has the turnover late in the second quarter with the pitch, right? Very next play, very next offensive play. This isn't the next pass. Next offensive play is the absolute dot that he drops in Parker's hands in between three defenders. Like, so we learned something about Bear. He's not going to be gun shy after a turnover, which I
Yep.
love. So good on you, Bear. Good job. That was a
Yep.
positive I saw from the offense for sure.
Yes, absolute positive. Like that, absolutely electric. The response, and I was listening to Coordinator's Corner again.
Yeah,
If you're not listening to this, you should.
I'm going to go do
A
that
Rod
after
is
this.
A-Rod is talking about the like 85-yard slant to Chase, right? And this is again, like you said, after the pick. You'd think Bear maybe he's going to start second guessing his reads or anything, right? No, so the play call was actually for Chase to try and get outside release and go over top of the corner. But the corner at the snap jumps to the outside, and Chase reads it, goes inside, breaks his route inside, and Bear read that like simultaneously with Chase, read that exact same thing, and was able to make the pass perfectly in stride to where Chase doesn't even have to slow down to catch it, takes it, goes 85 yards. So like the fact that Bear was able to throw a pick and then also like stay focused, like you said, stay locked in enough to be able to make these split second reads, be on the same page as his receiver. Like nothing phases this guy. For better or worse, nothing phases this guy, and I freaking love it. Like you said, I think we are in very, very good hands with Barrett as our quarterback. Is he going to make freshman mistakes sometimes? Absolutely. But we've seen that he bounces back and he learns from them. And so I think that's a really great place to be in 5 games in. He has 5 games worth of experience. The playbook is being opened up more and more as we can see. I, I think okay, I'm going to say this, okay? I think we're in a better place now with Bear than we would have been had Jake been our starter. That's
Oh, that
probably
is a
too
hot
soon
take.
to be pulling that trigger, but that's how I'm feeling right now. Is it true? I actually don't know, but that's how I feel. So that's my truth, as they say.
Yeah, that is your truth. And I will say I feel great about Bear. I don't know if I'm there, but I also love that take because I just don't know what Jake would have done. But Bear hasn't gone cold like Jake did, right? So there that definitely has legs. Do you remember at the beginning of the season when we talked about our expectations for Bear? Like,
Yes.
let's just check in on that. We said 58% completion percentage, and
Okay.
he's at 68.7.
Solid.
Solid, my dude. Um, I said a 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. He's 7-to-1 if you just go passing. And then he is, I believe, let me just confirm, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's 12-to-2 total touchdown to turnover ratio.
Love that.
I said that I would give him a pick a game. And that still stands moving forward. I'm not saying you have two because you can make up for all the games you didn't throw a pick. I'm
Right,
saying
right, right.
that moving forward, if you throw one interception a game, that's just where our expectations were. Okay?
Yep.
So that's what I would have given Jake. I'm going to give him that too. And then we said 25 yards rushing per game, and he's well above that because he rushed for 43 yesterday, 98 against Colorado, or not yesterday, but last weekend. So Bear is exceeding expectations. And here's what I will say. I am more confident with the ball in his hands than I was last year when Jake had the ball in his hands, as far as,
Yep.
which is
Oh,
crazy,
100%.
which is great.
100%. Right.
So
We never would have thought it would come to this.
yeah.
So yeah, and I love this like gradual progression Bear has been on. He's just like they're opening up the playbook a little bit more every single week. He's getting a little bit better. He's performing a little bit better. So I'm very excited about Bear and honestly our offense moving forward. I think there's a lot of this is a lot better of an offense than I expected to see. Now, are there lots of things to improve? Yes, but I think we're in a very good spot. Quickly before we move on, what about the defense, Jess? Because I think the defense played pretty much lights out. We were really mad about the QB draws and not being able to contain the quarterback. K-pop said on Coordinator's Corner that one of their biggest goals was to take the wide receiver number 4 out of the game, and he had 0 receptions before the final yard or before the final drive. And
Dang.
again, that was one thing he said, but if that gives you a little window into what the defensive staff was trying to do, I think they were trying to make the quarterback beat us on his legs, which he did from time to time. But if we're being honest, this should have been a 3 point, 6 point, at max 10 point outing from this offense if we don't turn the ball over in our own red zone twice, right?
100%.
So, do you feel okay about the defensive performance given all of that?
100%. I feel great about I feel the same about our defense last week as I did this week, maybe even a little better this week because we got to see some depth at linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the next thing I'll bring up is like Jack Kelly. I didn't realize this. He went out in the beginning of the first quarter. um, or end of the first quarter, beginning of the second quarter.
That's crazy.
So
I didn't
we
know it was
played,
that early.
right? We played 3 quarters without him. Ciala Sarah killed it, I thought. When I rewatched the game,
Baller.
he was flying around. So yes, it's gonna hurt to not have Jack because we're not sure if he'll be back. We're pretty sure Glasgow will be back, right?
Mhm.
But I feel good about both Ace, but especially Ciale filling in. We're not gonna be like our second stringers for the linebackers are not our second string secondary. We know there's an issue there, right?
Yes.
But we've got more depth at linebacker and D line. So that was optimistic to see.
Yeah, and as bad as this sounds, it's almost good that the player that was injured was Jack Kelly. Because I think of all the different places on probably our entire roster, that's the one spot that you could have an injury and feel really good about the backup, right?
Yeah,
Like imagine if that happened to Terry and Alexander or heaven forbid, like Tanner Wall. Like like
yeah,
these players that are good, but the depth behind them is the drop off is huge. Jack is like he's going to be an NFL player. Ciale might also be an NFL player. Like he's young, but he has that potential. So I think it's crazy, like you're saying, to say this, but the loss of Jack Kelly is not as big as I think we thought it would be in the moment. Again, any other injuries can throw a wrench in this whole thing.
yeah.
But I'm with you. I hate that we lost Jack Kelly, but I think our production probably went from like A plus top tier to like A minus top tier. You know what I mean? Like
100%. And if you
there's
look
not going to
across
be
the
this
league,
massive drop off.
yep, yep. Now, if you were to go to the top of the Big Ten or something, then we'd probably see a talent disparity. But I honestly believe that we're in the Big 12, we're okay. Like we're all
Yep.
right going to Arizona. Honestly, I think we're all right with Utah. So I like our talent. I like our depth. I'm looking at the stats, and before that last awful 3-for-3 drive from West Virginia, we had allowed 81 yards passing. We allowed 54 on that last drive. So no wonder Kalani is pissed. He's looking at like
Yep.
this 81 yard, yeah. And then we allowed 156 on the ground, which is not terrible. I mean, and their quarterback, Khalil Wilkins, had 89 of that over the game.
Yep.
Defense
Which
is great.
again, if they're as one dimensional as they were, like 150 yards on the ground with absolutely no passing attack is fine. Especially when you're up like three scores like we were for most of the game. It, you're not going to rush your way back into the game. And I
Yeah.
think it's part of, the coaching decisions and game theory, game scripting. Like, it was very well played, and BYU won the football game, which is what we were trying to do. And hey, we got some lessons out of it that I think our coaches are going to use. Especially like K-pop and J Hill are going to eat these guys alive this week in practice, right? We know that they're going to fix all those. I trust Kalani to get on the guys about ball security. I think we're in a good spot moving forward. As bad as I felt walking out of the stadium, I feel a lot better now after like 3 days, 4 days than I did then.
Yeah, for sure. I think it might be time for an expectations check. I was thinking about that for myself.
Let's
I'm
do it.
like, if so, our expectations were, I'm bringing up our emotional win tracker, 3+ highlight plays,
Okay.
3+ sacks and TFLs,
Okay.
one offensive touchdown, and then that's it.
One offensive touchdown.
One or more offensive touchdown. That was our expectations at the beginning of last year, and we rolled them over to this year.
Mhm.
So if things get bad, just remember that they could be worse. And I think that leads us into what else went on in college football this weekend.
Yep.
Because things
And
could always be worse. Worse.
just to be clear, we hit all of those this game.
Yes, we
We
did.
hit every single one. So,
And we haven't missed yet. So
right.
knock on wood. Sorry, I'm Greg.
Yep.
There we go.
Like you said, it could very much be worse. Okay. It is October now. It is the start of spooky season. Let's talk about some dead bodies, shall we? Let's get
Yeah.
right into it.
Yeah.
So, Jessa, we're going to play a little game here, okay? I'm going to give you a dead body, and you have to tell me if it's a zombie or if they're actually dead, okay?
Okay.
Now, I say this saying we're going to throw out some teams, okay? Uh, you're going to tell me if this team has the chance to come back alive later or if they are dead, dead. if that makes sense.
This season,
Um,
like they can come back out
this season,
this
yes,
season.
this season.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. All right.
All right. First one up, the Penn State, or as Jacob calls them, the Piss State potatoes. Um, Jacob was Penn State in the first year of our dynasty, and I think won like 2 or 3 games. Um, so he has seen this coming for a long time. He has been on the Drew All Our Sucks train well before it was even at the station. Jacob pulled it there to the
Yeah.
station. All
Yep.
right, dead body or zombie? Penn
I'm
State.
gonna I'm gonna say they're a dead body. If they were still in the ranked in the AP poll this week, because I'm not gonna put it past AP that they would do that, I would say, oh yeah, two loss teams can get into the playoff. But not when you lose to the worst Power Five team. Not even Power Five. I'm not even going to give them that respect. The worst FBS team, one of them in the country. Uh, UCLA. So I don't think there's any coming back from that. Looking at their schedule, they still have to go to Ohio State. They have to play Indiana, who's only trending upwards. Even if they win those 2 games, I mean, they would have to win those 2 games and finish the rest of their schedule. But I do not see that happening with how pissed their fan base is. Like, worst
Oh
case
man.
scenario for Penn State. I'm saying
Yep.
they're dead.
I think I'm with you. This team looks like they quit. Like they were down 27-7 in the fourth quarter, right? Like they were non-competitive for most of the game. Next one, dead body or zombie, Texas.
Man, I'm looking at their schedule. The Red River rivalry is next. Oh, sorry. The Red River shootout is next
Shootout,
weekend.
yes.
And Oklahoma's ranked number 6. They look good. I mean, Texas hasn't beat a Power Five. They haven't beaten a Power Five team. And I'm trying to think if I think they're probably closer to the zombie level to me than completely dead, just because they
Okay.
lost to Ohio State and Florida, who Florida is an SEC team and was highly hyped. I'm not saying this is right, okay? I'm just saying their chances of getting into the playoff, if they run the table, they have opportunities to earn back the committee's favor. Do I think they will do this? No, I don't. But so they're slightly more towards zombie than Penn State is. Not looking good though, guys. Not looking good.
Okay. I'm trying to find like a horror like correlator. Like we're talking like a Walking Dead zombie, or is that even too much alive?
I think that's too much alive.
So
I think we're
deader than a
talking like
Walking Dead zombie.
plants, versus zombies, how slow those move.
Gotcha.
I
Yep,
think we're
I
closer
love
to
that.
those.
And this is not a bucket head. This is not a
Yeah,
football player. This is just the normal zombie.
this is the normal zombie. Will lose limbs gradually as pea shooters land good hits. So,
Pea shooters like Florida,
yeah,
right?
like Florida.
That
And
was a
maybe
great,
Kentucky now, and maybe Mississippi State. They could go 6-6. We don't know.
great poll, Jess. That's beautiful. Plants versus Zombie. All right, next one, North Carolina.
Dead, dead. They're
Dead.
30 feet in the ground. They're 30 feet in the ground. And I'm not being emotional, obviously. I'm being super unbiased
Right, right,
as
right.
a closet UNC fan. I love to root for UNC when they're good. I am so over the Bill Belichick era. I'm so done with it. He told this is what happened this weekend, really fast. He told all UNC personnel to not repost or say anything about the Patriots. Well, the only good thing about UNC is Drake May, and the Patriots just beat the Bills over the weekend or last night, I mean. So you should probably repost your star player. That's probably a thing to do, and it took them a full
Yep.
24 hours to do it. Anyways, don't get me started. They're dead. They're dead. They're dead. They're dead. Move on from Belichick.
The most dead a body has ever been.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Decomposed. Yeah, done.
I love that. All right. Next one, Wisconsin. Dead body
Wisconsin.
or zombie?
I'm gonna lean. Here's the deal. I feel like they were a dead body from the beginning of the season. Like expectations were that low. But they held in there with Ohio State. They played Ohio State this weekend, right? Or was that Minnesota
They
who played?
they play. Ohio
Or
State
they
played
played Michigan.
Minnesota. They
They
played
played.
Michigan. Yeah.
Yeah, they played Michigan. They're still dead. They're
Still
two and
dead.
three. Yeah, I think then they're gonna stay dead. They still have to play Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana, and Illinois. So still dead.
That is a rough schedule.
Yeah, it's so rough. So rough.
Yeah. So this is like the zombie that's like on the off ramp of the military like setup, right?
Yes.
The military safe zone and all the
Mm-hmm.
trucks with the food and stuff just run over the zombie every day.
Yep. That's the one. That's the one. They're
Like
not,
it.
yeah. The surviving humans are not scared of this team.
Yeah.
Gosh.
How about Oklahoma State? Dead
Oklahoma
body or a zombie?
Oklahoma State, I have not seen any signs of life. So they are still dead. They just fired Mike Gundy,
Yep.
and let Arizona put up 41 on them and only put up 13. They're still bad, dead. Sorry, guys.
No pulse.
No pulse. I don't have anything more to say about them. If they show any signs of life, like putting up more than 15 points against anybody in their remaining schedule, then we could see a finger twitch or something, but they're dead.
No signs of life and absolutely no danger whatsoever.
Yeah. Nope, you're good.
Okay, what about Boise State?
Boise State's a zombie, I think. They are
Oh,
entering, I think so. I think they are a zombie. I mean, they only have two losses, and both those okay, the South Florida one actually might bite them in the butt. But the Notre Dame loss is all right. Like you can lose to Notre Dame and be all right. If they run the table in conference play, then they will show signs of life. So for that reason, I would say they're a zombie, kind of crawling their way into conference play.
okay. We thinking like a Walking Dead zombie? We
Yeah, I think
thinking,
so.
yeah, Walking Dead.
Well,
Okay.
and I mean, I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs. That's not what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying they're
Right, right.
showing signs of life of making the playoff, but they could be ranked by the end of the year.
Yeah, this isn't a dead, like a dead team is a team that's dead.
Yeah,
They
has nothing to
no
play
hope.
for.
Yes,
Yeah.
right. No, they're still alive for the conference, is what you're saying. They
Yeah,
could win the Mountain West.
totally. I think they've looked good. They've put up 51, 49, and 47 in games following South Florida. So they've made some kind of
Pretty
change.
good. And they were in that game for a little bit with Notre Dame. They just made
Yeah.
some stupid mistakes.
Yeah.
All right, last one. Clemsuck. You got 1 minute, Jess. Zombie or dead?
I literally just wrote in Clemsuck in ESPN. That's not going to come out with anything. They're in the ACC. So I don't know, man. I don't want to say that they're alive because I want them to be dead. I'm gonna be really honest. My
All
bias
right.
is getting in here. But they can't make the playoffs at this point, but they could still compete for the conference championship just because the ACC is so crappy.
Yeah.
So
Do they play
I don't know.
Miami?
No, they don't play Miami. They play Florida State and South Carolina are their two toughest games on the schedule.
Gotcha. So
So,
maybe like a petering up to life zombie,
I think so.
just barely alive.
Yeah, but in comparison to being number four preseason, they're dead. That
Yep.
was a good game. I liked that game.
Yep. That was very fun. We're gonna run out of time any second, but this was awesome, Jess. Very fun.
Go Cougs! The
Go Cougs,
Vortex!
baby.